Hey people, I see a lot of people using this map here to prove their theory of the flat earth. And there's a lot of people following this theory. And there's nothing wrong with not believing everything the government tells you. You know, you shouldn't believe anything they tell you. You should investigate it yourself. But by no means do they prove anything with this flat map. And all you have to do is look at one word. You know, most of it comes from the Bible. It says in the Bible that the earth is flat and the roof is a dome over. But it doesn't say that. That's the King James Bible. It was designed to keep everybody ignorant. But it's on the second day of creation, Genesis 1:6. You know, this word for the roof, rekia. And I read the Q as F, but it goes either way. And so I read the first day in that last movie, and I added some stuff about the vaccine. So they took down a couple of my channels, and so I'll read it real fast. You know, to Homer from Yell, yee-haw, row, wage rower, where from Yell to row the oar, give in with of. Who victual from Yell between the hour of in each shack, who formula Amelia our fee to lower juice, and lusk for lily, and lusk for the moon, lusk for lily, the wage in roaring, the wage the roof in forgus, Tao, the way, the Tao, the Tao. And you can check out this movie on the Tao Te Ching, and you'll see that the pronunciation of this Tao is the Tao. And then on this second day, you know, and created the firmament, the word is Y Homer. You know, they just call this Yammer. But this first two letters, you know, the Vav and the Yod, the Y, is ancient English, and it means how or who. And this AMR is Homer, and it means to command. AMR, you know, to command. And you know, so it says it's how command or who command. And if it starts with an A, it reads backwards. This is from Yella, Y-E-L-A. You know, M is from Yell. You know, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. You know, this is a yelled word from Yella, from the sun. Who command from Yella, yee-haw. You know, when you jump on your horse and you holler, yee-haw, you know, giddy up. And so yee-haw is I-E-I, and it means to make the work. You see it on all the old letter meaning charts. You know, the yod, the I, looks like this. And it's the hand, and it means to work or to make. And then the E, the he, is the. And that's what yee-haw means, make the work. Hey, do the job, make the work. And command from Yella, yee-haw, Raphia. And so R-Q-I-O, it comes from your base word, you know, where requiem comes from. It's Latin. When we look over here in the English, you know, Middle English requiem, and it's the first word in the intro, in the requiem mass, and it's of the Latin requies. It means to rest, repose, from re, again, and quais, to quiet, to requiet, you know, the rest, the peace. And so, you know, all the Egyptians, you know, the king would die, he would become the sun. And Osiris, he said when he died, he was going to be the star Sirius, is where he was going to, the brightest star, the biggest star. It's known as Duat, you know, it's the resting place of the souls in the realm of the dead. So you might read this, you know, who Homer, who command, how command, and then my, you know, my Allah. And all the most of the words they say God, that's what they have in common. There's a whole bunch of them. And that's what they all have in the common, is that A-L-E, which actually reads backwards, E-L-A, Allah. This is what they all have in common. All these words meaning God is the E-L-A. It look like an O here in their pronunciation, but actually this E is the A. They're pronounced as an E, and then the L and the O is just given with the L, and the He is the E you're seeing here. But that's what they all have in common. Elohim, the Elohim, the Elohik, to give Allah, Ka, Elohim. And all these hundreds of words, that's what they have in common, is this A-L-A, A-L-E here. And it's also, the word for all the angels, the Raphael, that's this the Y-E-L-A, and Lamiel, and Ramiel, it's because the first part of the word would be here, from Ra-Miel. So who command from Yela? Yeha, the Raphael, the rest. And so R means first, Q means the center, and then the Yod is to make, and the O is the Ayin, to see. The first center to make see. The first thing you have to learn is, on the day one is Ra, the sun, and then the second thing you learn is the roof. You learn in the stars. Ra is the head, the first to begin, and the Q is, you can see the drawing of it here. In most languages, it was a circle with a line through the middle. And it's what it means, the center, the fifth direction. They say to come after, but it actually means the middle or the center, the RQ. And then the I, the work, to make. And then the Ayin is to see. It's R-O. It means to see. And so Yeha, the Raphael, the Rekio, the rest, and to give them his wage. Them, E-M-I-S. E is T-H-E-M. Them his wage. This is the same as Yeha, to make the work. And so this is with a Vav. To make the work is your wage. Or Y, how. And then E-Y, T-H-E-Y, they. How they get by. Everybody's got a job. And so the rest, the Raphael, and to give them his wage, their job. And you see this word from Vidal. If you watched that last movie, it was almost the same, except it was missing the I from Vidal. And so from Vidal means to fill. Say it means, it was here, they say it means divide, who Vidal, V-D-L, Vidal. But here it's a little bit different. It's got the I in there. And if you look over there in the Greek opposite of this is the word distill. And it's dividing by distilling, by adding a little bit of heat to raise just the alcohols. And we look over here in this Greek Bible. And here it's the di-exo risen. Die through the exo, the exterior, risen. Through the exterior, risen. You look over here in Leviticus 10:10, and you see, it's will the vidal, V-D-I-L. And that means that you may distinguish. But if we read before this, it's the gin, J-I-N, not wine, but gin. The gin, or intoxicating drink, not do drink, you nor your sons with you, when you go into the tabernacle of meeting, unless you die, a statue forever throughout your generation. And will the distill. And if we look over here in the Greek opposite of this, you see this word is D-I-A, through. The still, S-T-E-I-L, the still, A-I, distill you. To distill you through the still. And so you distill spirits. So who Homer from Yella, Yeehaw, Rekia, and to give, B, N, T, U, to, and then cause, to give, and to give them his wage. And you see how I read this final M as a S, and they say it's an M here, but it reads as a S, and you see it here. They knew it in the Requiem. In the Latin, they're reading it a Requiem, the people that didn't understand how to read it, but you can see here, from the Latin, Requies. It's the same, except they just turned this M into an S. And I figured this out just through a lot of reading. And here at the pictures, if you look at the soffit letters, these mean final letters. And the Kaf soffit letter looks just like the Kaf, except they just drop the tail down. And the same is the N, they just drop the tail down. Where it used to go across, they just drop it down. And the Pei, the Pei, they just drop it down. And the Zadi, the X, they just drop the tail down. You can see how the Zadi is written here, and they just drop it down in order to make this final letter. But when I look at the M, the Mem soffit, it was different from the rest of them. When I look at it, they didn't drop the tail down. They changed the letter, and the entire letter looks way more like this Samic than it does this M. If it was a soffit M, they would have just dropped this tail down. And that kind of clued me, and from reading much of this, I just replace it with the S when it comes on the end, and I found out it fits perfect English if I do that. And if you look at the rules of Hebrew, they'll say that the final M means plural. You see how they'll add an S to it. And so, Yeehaw, the Rekia, the rest. And that means that it's all resting up there. It's resting, we're spinning. And to give them his wage. And so the rest is all the stars, that they're always in the same place. And what's that rest? And to give them his wage. And from in B, N, D, through, make, bind. And through, make, bind. And from victual, this is where your word bottle comes from. You bottle up your spirits to divide your cask up into bottles. Between, bin, in its bin, and from victual, bin, in its bin. And then this is miss. This is the waters. You don't see the thee here. You see the E here means the, and then them is. Well, there's no E, and they just give it here because it's not. This is miss, as in Mrs. Lamis, L-M-I-S. Miss Lamis is the ancient word for, this is Lamissa, Lama, Lamis, and was later depicted from Assyrian times as a hybrid of a human, a bird, a bull, or a lion. It had 4 heads, one of a human, one of an eagle, one of a bull, and one of a lion. Which refers to the male counterpart of Lamissa, represents the zodiacs, represents all the zodiac signs. Ezekiel's wheel had 4 heads, one of a bird, and one of a man, and one of a bull, and one of a lion. So the man's here holding a pot of water, and then you go 3 signs, 1, 2, 3, and you have the bull. You go 3 signs, 1, 2, 3, and you have the lion. And here you go 3 signs, 1, 2, 3, and we have Scorpio here. But you see where it's sitting. At the time this was written, this curve is where our sun's at. Well, it was this way, so Scorpio was sitting here at this crossing at the time, and that's what they were marking. The 4 heads was this crossing was Scorpio, and this crossing was Leo at the time. And then this crossing, it was here. It was here underneath the bull, underneath Taurus. this crossing, the lowest point, this head was underneath the man. And so, it says, the man and the lion and the ox. Except the eagle, we have a scorpion in place, the eagle. But it has a tack here, upon make. And so it reads backwards, and it's a RSN SR. And so it's pronounced resigns, RSNS, resigns begin, R begin, resigns begin. See, the sun's up here in the summer. And like I say, at the time, it was the lion. The lion is the sun, the hot summer. And this is where it crosses over. It resigns. The summer's over, and now it going into the sun resigns. It goes past the equator, and it's down in the southern hemisphere. It resigns. And so, like I say, this crossing was here. And that's what it's saying. The Scorpio, was the eagle. They say is the eagle, but it doesn't say it. It just says resigns. And it means, the sun resigns into the winter, into the southern hemisphere. And so, who command from Yella, Yeha Rakia, and to give them his wage. From Vittel between Miss Lamis, from the god of the astrology. Vios, how the eye consume. To make Vav, to Yod, make eye, the eye consume, to see. Sometimes you see this followed with a Vav, is to see too. And that, to see this gets done. Vios. And to see from Yell to, and then backwards, O-Y, the how free, how, O-I, how Q-R-E, how free rest, Raphia, who vittle, who filled between them is raise from that of the rest, to raise from that of rest. And so everything is alchemy, and they describe everything as a distillation, in a human body as distillation, and the world works as a distillation, to distill the spirits from that of the rest. Of in, you don't see the dot in here anymore, so this is B-I-N, the bin, and this is V, of in. Them is raised from all, M-O-L, from all of rest, the wage, knock-in, back and forwards after this tack, N-K-N, the knock-in. And knock-in means something that's going in its place, like a piece of a puzzle that fits, it fits in perfect. All the edges are tight. You have to give a little tap to fit it in its hole, a knock-in. In where it belongs, to raise from all of rest the wage, knock in, to fit where it belongs. How formula, how Q-R-A-M-I-E-L-A, how formula of Rakia, of the rest, same is. You see the sky here, this is the S-M-I-S, same is. And you see that's the same word as the heavens, up here the heavens, the same is. And so this word, they'll use it either way, the sky or the heavens. You see here they say it's the heaven, the heavens. How formula of the rest, of the rakia, of the roof, to make C, R-Q, or R-P-H, the roof makes C. The same is the wage in roaring, in the bright shining sun, the lion in the roaring, the wage in the roof before, the roof in for, the night sky, the roof in for just sign, S-N-I, the sign is the second day. The first day you learn the way, the Tao, and the second day you learn the signs of Miss Lamis. The second day you learn the zodiacs of Miss Lamis. You learn all the signs. And then on the third day you create your trinities. And it says, and who command from a yell I to make few two. And it's where your word fuse comes from, and few is F-U-E, or a few means three. And so in command from yell, make few to them is from that, M-T-H-T, from that the same is. Make fuse to, connect, let gather together. Make fuse to them is from that the same is of from with from, backward L of, and then backwards and forwards from M from with from fuse. Make the three fuse together. The Tao, the way to tree, the way to three. They, E-Y, they base. The way to three, they base. The wage to fit in, to knock in. And so on the third day, you're learning the trinities. And so you're learning the sun here is the fire. And it fuses with the three fires. Three fires make its trinity. And then the water is going to be on the opposite side of the sun, is over here at the waters with Saturn and Aquarius. And it fuses with the three waters, with Libra and Gemini, the three waters. And then the eagle is going to be the air, and fuse the three airs. 1, 2, 3 airs. And then on opposite that is going to be the earths, the three earths. G, that's your letter for earth. And your earth is Taurus and Capricorn and Virgo. You see the letter for Virgo is the X, the plants. And Virgo represents Mother Earth. But yeah, that's all this doing is the first page is teaching the basic astrology, how all the associations work. And then it gets on deeper into cooking up some stuff. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.